I think the election, it was certainly surprising to me. I thought it was going to be a very close election, and we would maybe still be arguing now about like who won it. And I think it's a very good break for the whole country that at least we have a decisive winner and that we can get on with things and begin to figure out where to go from here. So I think in a lot of ways this was a very good outcome just in terms of political stability compared to kind of what I was worried about maybe a week or so ago.
What does it mean for your portfolio? Have you reallocated anything based on those decisive results?
Yeah, we have increased our bets on inflation. I think that we're going to have another inflection up inflation. I think that what the policy mix that is being proposed, I think it is inflationary, and I think that that we'll see more of that over the next few years.
And this is important because I just want our audience to remember that you had this inflation call back in May of 2020 where you said, and this was, of course, in the depths of the pandemic, where you said a country that consumes much more than it produces, financed by ongoing money creation, will have more money chasing fewer goods and services. Once the initial shock wears off and the recovery begins, the inflation will begin to show up. And at this time, CPI was 0.1% annually, and then, of course, it shot up a few months later. Do you think this administration has the policy mechanisms to deal with inflation this time around?
Well, I don't think we'll have the inflation the same kind or the same amount that we did before. It felt much more open-ended then. When I say that I think there'll be more inflation, like if people are expecting maybe 2.5% inflation next year, I think it'll more likely to be 3.5 to 4.5 or something like that. I don't really see what the mechanism is right away to make it go back up to 7 or 8. Or 9, such as that. But I mean, it seems to me that we're going to have an expansionary policy. They want to cut a lot of taxes. I think one of the speakers just before was going through the amounts. It doesn't really matter particularly which ones it is. And I think we have a pretty strong economy on top of that. We have relatively full employment. We have wage growth. I think the immigration policy that they're going to put in place is going to be inflationary for costs and for labor and stuff like that. And so I think we'll have a bunch of inflation. What they're able to do or choose to do about that, I don't know. I mean, there's an argument for tolerating it, and they may prefer to just try to run the economy as hot as possible and live with the inflation. I don't really know what they will do.